Hello everybody and welcome back to Maths Miss Buick. In this video we're focusing on differentiating logs and you'll find this within differential calculus. However, the question I picked also has an element of a composite function about it as well. So here we have two functions. F of x is equal to the ln of 3x squared plus 2 and g of x is equal to x plus 5. And we have to find f dashed of g of x at x is equal to a quarter. So you can see here this is the composite function element of our question. So this green arrow represents that we're going to read from right to left. So we'll take our g of x function and put it into the f of x function. So we're going to take our x plus 5 and put it into our x here within our f of x function before we even differentiate it all. So let's find what is the f of g of x function. So we're not differentiating yet. So we'll take our x plus 5, which is the g of x, and put it in here to the x. So we now have the ln of 3 x plus 5 to be squared plus 2. And of course, we have to multiply this out. So we have f of g of x is equal to the ln of 3. Well, if we square this out, we get x squared plus 10x plus 25 plus 2. So let's move over here actually for a bit more space. F of g of x. Okay, so we're still just focusing on simplifying this out. So we can see here that we must multiply our 3n. So we have ln of 3x squared plus 30x plus 75. And this 2 is not being multiplied by the 3, so we'll just write down plus 2. So just be careful with that. And then finally, before we can do any differentiating, we have to add the 75 and the 2. 77. Okay, so that there is the composite element of our function sorted. Now let's move on to actually differentiating this log. So I have the rule here for you. So this is in the log tables. Now, to be honest with you, it's not very helpful because it doesn't really tell you what to do. But in word formation, so we've got ln of x. So you do 1 over the bracket multiplied by the differential of the bracket. So if you differentiate x, you get 1. So that's why it's not very helpful, because inside an exam, it's very difficult to know what actually happened. So it's 1 over the bracket multiplied by the differential of the bracket. So let's have a look at how I do it. So we've got f dashed of g of x. So we have 1 over the bracket. So 1 over the bracket. So here's our bracket. Multiplied by the differential of the bracket. Where's that? There, by differential of the bracket. So if we differentiate this, what do we get? Well, bring your 2 forward to your 3 to give you 6x. And 30x, when it's differentiated, goes to 30. And of course, any constants goes to 0. So let's put that over 1. Okay, so now let's simplify that out. Well, top by top, bottom by bottom. So we have top by top, bottom by bottom. So now we have f of g of x dash is equal to 6x plus 30 all over 3x squared plus 30x plus 77. And then that's all of that part done. But of course, it's said in the question when x is equal to a quarter, as you can see up here. So that means we take our value of our x and we replace it with a quarter. So now we have 6 by a quarter. So you can see it's quite a long question, but it is definitely doable. Okay, so let's go to our calculator. You type in exactly as you see it. Or of course you can also put in 0.5 if you didn't want to put in a quarter. See you now in a second. 3 by plus 77. So I've typed it in exactly as I have it. I hope you can see that. Then press the SD button to get rid of our fraction. We have 0.37. So there we go. Our answer is equal to 0.37. So the main thing to learn from this video is when you differentiate a log, it's 1 over the bracket multiplied by the differential of the bracket.